Hey, what's up everyone, Sangluten here, and we're back for another episode of Spice for Thought, the kind of content where we look at maybe tips or strategies or guides, tier lists, and so on. And for this episode, we will look at my top 10 of underrated cards. So this list is really to be understood as like cherry picking, me going through the cards, thinking, yeah, this might not have like the respect it deserves, let's put it that way. So to be understood as a top 10, and obviously the best, or the number one card in that list isn't like the strongest out of the list, but more like the biggest gap between what I see as the value it's given and the value it deserves. So yeah, without further ado, let's jump straight into it. Number 10, in my opinion, is Negotiated Withdrawal. I think it has a fair amount of respect, but it is stronger than most people give credit to. And one of the main topic, I would say, is the fact that it has a very, very strong reveal action. Meaning this card, you don't really want to play it, and it's good to have this kind of cards in your deck as well, especially when you were able to trash a couple of your, let's say, daggers, maybe recon, convincings, and you have strong cards in your deck that you want to play. Well, this is one that you don't want to play, because when you reveal it, it gives you such a strong action, especially if you have another card like Sardaukar Legion, for instance, that allows you to deploy troops, or a Gurney Halleck that has the same effect as a reveal, and where it becomes the strongest if you have rapid mobilization. This card is goated. Then this card becomes like absolute S tier, because you can every round farm your units to get some influence and withdraw them, get your garrison to a crazy amount, and rapid mob all of that out when it's a level 3 combat for 2 VPs. So this card, very, very strong in my opinion. Number 9 would be Stilgar in my opinion. It gets some reasonable amount of love as well, so that's why it's still quite low in the top 10 here, but I think it's stronger than what most people gives credit for, especially with that duality where it has a very strong reveal. 2 persuasion is always great, but 3 swords on top of 2 persuasion, that's nuts. That's really very strong. But it also has the water on the agent effect, plus that little Fremen access, which means you could send it to Hardy if you already have a water, for instance, and you get that water repaid to yourself right on the spot. Or you can go to Still Suits and generate 2 water out of that, which might be a research station down the line, or collecting some spice. So very, very strong in my opinion. Water is a bit underrated, so that's maybe why Stilgar is there as well, in my opinion. Number 8 would be Spiritual Fervor. It's not a great card per se, for sure, but I think people don't give enough credit to that reveal effect as well. Everyone, if you buy it, and myself included to be honest, it's mostly because you see an immediate benefit with that research action you get when buying the card, which, don't get me wrong, makes this not a very strong card, but still a reasonably useful card situationally. Sometimes it can save lives. It can grant you a VP, so it's not to be discarded that way. But more often than not, I would see people trashing this quite quickly afterwards in their deck, when maybe they still have a recon or daggers in the deck. And to be honest, depends a bit on the balance of icons, obviously. But if you bought 1 or 2 liaisons, you have your city access secured, I would trash recon 1,000 times over this one, because neither of those 2 you want to play ideally. So you can start from the premise that you're going to reveal it. Recon has 1 persuasion, this one has 1 persuasion, and that one little specimen, which to be honest can change a lot in your game. It can maybe mean 1 more reclaimed forces for a beetle, which might also be a VP. Because other than that, those specimens, you farm them through the research track, but more often than not, you dodge them for influence bomb, beetles, or other kind of benefits that you see on the track. And other than that, it's by revealing your experimentations, which, to be honest, you try not to do so often either, because you need to advance on that research track. So having something that reveals for a specimen here and there is not so bad. Don't get me wrong, again, not the strongest card, but it's better than what people would give them credit for. Give it credit for. Number 7 for me is gene manipulation. How often have I seen players quite early in the game choosing a liaison above gene manipulation, and I can't get to understand that. I mean, the only reason I would say is if you need a Fremen bond, but more often than not, that's not the case at this stage of the game, and I just don't understand, because it's basically a liaison, same access, same persuasion, but you get to trash, and you might even get a little bonus of spice, although I wouldn't count on that too much. It's more about the trashing. If you have to play that card, you're going to be so much happier to play that card over a liaison, because you get to trash something out of your deck, and this is so good. I mean, trashing, right? Don't get me wrong. This card is still good, reasonably good, but it's not like an outstanding card. You don't need to get out of your way to buy it, don't get me wrong, but in my opinion, it's still a bit underrated. Number 6 for me is a dissecting kit. People buy it more often than not, but I feel like they don't get so much use out of it because they just buy it because it's cheap, and it's still like not too bad. But I mean, to be honest, this is insane because of the dual value again. Like early in the game, you can graft it, play it as an agent, trash the other card for a specimen. Again, specimens are not so easy to generate, so it's good, and getting that trash out is very useful. But where it becomes a very strong card is on the reveal. So basically what I would expect when you buy that card is trying to get to that first genetic marker, and then you reveal that card. I mean, unless you're really forced into playing it because you have maybe, I don't know, a long reach and you need to craft it to be able to play it, fair enough. But if not, you just reveal this card and it will bring you to the end of the T-Lax track for a second VP. So yeah, for me, it doesn't get enough recognition for that reveal because it's very strong. Number 5 for me is a Bennett Lilacs Researcher. I think it is a very strong card. Again, that reveal doesn't get enough love because when you get to that end of the research track, which shouldn't be so hard given its agent effect, you get 3 persuasion out of that card. So it's basically the cheapest 3 persuasion card, which gives you like consistently 3 persuasion, because obviously there's also Sayadina or the mother, the siege mother. They both have 3 persuasion if you have the Fremen bond, so a bit more conditional, but this one basically has that synergy where you play it, you graft it ideally to an experimentation or something that has also a very useful agent effect. You get to that end of the T-Lax track and then of the research track, sorry, and then you get 3 persuasion out of it. So a very strong card in my opinion. It doesn't get enough love either. Number 4 is the replacement eyes, and for me this card, the trashing again is huge, but the fact that you can trash to draw, this is insane. I mean, it's a bit of a mini selective breeding you get to do, but it doesn't cost 2 spice first of all, and you get to potentially trash either the card you graft to it, so it's not like selective where you need a discard to get the most value out of it. You can graft it to something you want to trash, or by the end of the game, and that's something I don't see enough, is to trash itself, right? Because it gets you that beetle. So if you buy that card, you need to trash it at the end. So you need to basically think about that, because it's a very powerful synergy it has with itself actually. So it's, I don't even know how to call that, but yeah, very strong. And I think this is also something that is often overlooked. Number 3 for me is Water Peddler. Again, not an insane card, but it doesn't get enough love, especially if you have a Truesayer in your deck or if you have a Holo Projector. This is a must buy. Water is, as we said with the Stilgar as well, water is a bit underrated because it gives you access to a pile of spice more often than not, and to that research track, which is also very useful for immortality, or even outside of immortality, just for spice must flows. And to flip through that deck to get to those good cards quicker, and this is also something that is often overlooked, and I think Water Peddler helps a lot with that. Also, if you have Sayadina in your deck, this is a must buy because it's an insane synergy with it. So yeah, I think this Water Peddler card deserves a bit more recognition as well. Number 2 would be high priority travel. I often see that overlooked as well, and to be honest, this is a card that makes like an Ilban, a Romber, a Lido quite strong because of that dual effect of either drawing a card, which is very strong on Menta. So for Ilban, for instance, this is absolutely busted, and I would strongly consider buying this to deny Ilban if you have an opponent playing Ilban right now. So this is a must, but also on the shipping track, so Hanjo can also get some value out of it because you can make the shipping track a combat zone. So deploy those troops you recruit, very busted. Especially if you might go up to the tech level of the shipping track, buying maybe that invasion ships on top of the 2 troops you recruit anyways. Very, very strong. It basically transforms it into a highliner. And for a Romber, for instance, or for a Lido, or for anyone buying a Dreadnought, you can send this card, make the Dreadnought tile so much better because you get to deploy that Dreadnought at the moment where you go and buy it. So it's a very good card and doesn't get as well enough love in my opinion. And number 1, and might surprise some of you because I'm sure some of you value that card rightly, but I see it so often overlooked. Number 1 would be Gurney Halleck in my opinion. Just yesterday, and to be honest, that's maybe what triggered me into doing that video. Yesterday I saw a Helena player having 6 persuasion on the reveal. There was Gurney in the row, and she chose Initiate Bene Gesserit. Bene Gesserit Initiate is the right name, and Shifting Allegiances for 6 persuasion. I can understand shifting, it's very tempting, it's a very good card, but it's not like she needed it immediately to steal an alliance or anything. So there, especially as Helena, Gurney is the only right solution. I mean, this guy makes you win conflicts. This guy in Arakeen makes you draw 2 cards. Even if you don't get to play this guy, you can reveal it, pay 3 Solari and deploy an additional 2 troops to the combat, plus the 2 persuasion. It's busted. I mean, it's a very, very strong card, and it makes city access a very strong deployment zone. It's basically better than a Hardy Warriors sending Gurney to a city, right? Because you recruit 1 from the city, 2 from Gurney, so that's 3 troops you recruit on top of whatever you have in your garrison that you can send as well. So from a city space, you can send out 5 troops at once if your garrison allows you to. And this is something that is often overlooked in my opinion, and Gurney definitely deserves more love. So yeah, that was it for this top 10 underrated card. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments which card you feel like is the most underrated one. Be super curious to hear about that. Don't forget to hit like on that video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow on Twitch as well if you're interested to catch me live one of those days. I hope to see you very soon again. Have a good one. Bye bye.